It may surprise you, but anything, and I do mean literally anything, can be made into a business. And I'm going to talk about that in this video. Now, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to either be the best or be the first at whatever it is that you're going to do. Being first to offer some sort of product or service, of course, depends on your ability to spot the needs or wants for those goods or services. So you need to take a good look around you. You need to be in touch with what's going on, and you need to be able to spot the opportunities. And that means never giving up on thinking that anything can be made into a business. Where there's a want or a need to be filled, there's a business opportunity. And this can be in anything. It can be in something that you've discovered in your working life. It can be in a hobby. It can be in a pastime. It can be something that you've seen when you've been out and about. It can be something that you've read in the newspaper or magazine or seen on TV. There's all sorts of opportunities around. You just need to zone in on the right one and something that you can do, a service or a product that you can offer. Now, of course, being best depends on your ability to see what someone else is doing and then figuring out a way to do it better, cheaper, faster, more profitably, more efficiently, or quite frankly, all of the above. So you just need to improve on something that's already there, and you need to there's the old saying, if you can build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. Now let's look at some examples of people who've been able to do something either first or better than other people. And let's look at some examples from the online world first of all. And the first example is Mark Zuckerberg. Now, Mark Zuckerberg co-founded Facebook while he was still a student at Harvard University. And legend has it that he set up this as a way that guys could rate girls online. And the thing was loosely based on a printed publication that's used in some private schools in the US, where they have a photograph of the student, they list some details about them, they list hobbies and that sort of thing, and also contact details. And although it's known by various different names, lots of people refer to it as the Facebook because it's got pictures of people's faces in it. And so he started this, he put it up online. Harvard University's servers crashed because so many people were trying to get online and look at it. And he released it to the wider world, and the company is now worth nearly $245 billion. So there you go. You can see that Mark Zuckerberg was first in some ways. He was first to put this online, but he also saw something that he'd come across in the past and was able to do it better and more efficiently. Now, our next entrepreneur is Ben Silbermann. Ben Silbermann co-founded Pinterest, and this grew out of a childhood love of collecting things. He used to collect all sorts of stuff when he was a boy, and he figured that if you could collect things online and put them into, or collect things on your smartphone and post them on a website, then that would be something that you could share with other people without them having to actually physically turn up at your house and look at your collections. So that's how he came up with the idea for Pinterest, and they turned it into an app, and as they say, the rest is history. So you can see how he took a hobby and turned it into a business, and of course, a very successful business. Then there's Arianna Huffington. Now, Arianna Huffington launched the Huffington Post in 2005, and it was an overtly liberal and left-wing outlet and an alternative to news aggregators such as the Drudge Report, which tend to be fairly right-wing. And so she wanted to really set a balance. And it's become probably the world's most successful online newspaper. I don't know whether you can actually call it a paper because it is online, but it is one of the most successful online newspapers. And it was the first online publication to win a Pulitzer Prize. And so it is now taken very, very seriously by the world in general. And of course, it started out as a blog and then moved on to becoming a much more serious publication. So again, you see, she saw a need, she saw a way to fill it, and simply scaled things up. Now let's look at some offline examples, because the same principles from the offline world can also be applied to the online world as well. Now, our first offline entrepreneur is arguably one of the world's most famous and successful entrepreneurs, and that's Sir Richard Branson. And he started his first business selling records by mail order at cheaper prices than record stores. And he knew that teenagers, because the market was mainly aimed at teenagers, presented a ready market and they didn't have a lot of money. And then his business grew from there to actually recording his own records. I think Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells was the first one that was released on the Virgin label. And he's gone on now to found goodness knows how many different businesses, because he's been able to take the skills that he's acquired from running one business, applying it to the next. So see, he saw a need, he saw a want, and he just simply came up with a way to fill it. And finally, of course, there's Thomas Edison. Now, Thomas Edison developed many devices that greatly influenced life around the world. And he held 1,093 US patents in his name, as well as many patents in the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. And Thomas Edison really changed the world. You wouldn't be watching this video right now if it wasn't for Thomas Edison, because he invented sound recording. He also set up one of the first commercial electricity generating companies in the world. He showed that it was possible to distribute electricity to households and to businesses. So really, by being able to harness electricity and show that there was a demand for it, he changed the world. But, of course, all this comes with a word of caution. Just because something can be made into a business doesn't mean that you should make it into a business. You should be aware of the laws that hold true over your location of your business, as there may be some lesser known rules that preclude your business opportunity. So just because you can buy, say, pharmaceuticals in one country over the counter that's only available on prescription in another country doesn't mean that you should set yourself up as the pharmaceutical import-export business, because that might get you into a lot of trouble. You should also avoid starting businesses on things that you cannot see any possible growth in. So if you look at something and think, yeah, this might make a good business, but then when you start to work through your business plan, you can see that it's not going to go anywhere, then really you don't want to waste your time on it. Because a bad idea is a bad idea, and it won't get you any customers no matter how long you wait.